Suicide Squad issue 3, Tom Taylor writing with Bruno Redondo on the art. And this, of course, we ended the last issue with like them assassinating the replacement president that the bad guy wants to put into power, and they remember they sort of fake it and pretend that they just get ambushed, so that they're trying to like get away with it, and it kind of picks off right where that leaves off, and they kind of do the same thing again when they get to the president they're supposed to assassinate. They like Deadshot goes along with it and like says, okay, it's done, but we see that he's actually just shot the wall next to her, and then they telepathically communicate with her and say, okay, you have to. One of my favorite lines of dialogue in this was, sorry, Madame President, but you're going to have to be dead for a while. And she says, well, it's better than being dead permanently. So
it's better than being dead forever. Yeah.
So I'll take it. I love the debate between all these characters who are, working, all these freedom fighters who are working together, of like, what do we do with Deadshot? Like, do we bring him into this? Do we leave him behind or kill him? And ultimately, like the big one, I don't know the names yet, unfortunately, because there's a lot of new characters. She's like, no, we'll loop him in, to the telepath who's letting them all talk, Martian Manhunter style, like loop him into the conversation, and they bring him along for the ride. So that's letting them talk, where, the dude can't hear them.
It's actually really nicely set up. I mean, there's a bit at the start where Deadshot does go along with the ambush, which is why they kind of feel like they can trust him to bring him in.
Yeah.
But what's the telepathic bit is really nicely set up, because we see Harley on her mission with the other half of the group and trying to talk to him, and they're just like, no, they just don't want to talk to you. And and they're like, clearly they're all just talking to each other telepathically. It just looks like they're just sitting there ignoring each other.
It's good stuff, and it's worth mentioning that they all get electrocuted here to be punished for letting the guy die. He obviously doesn't know that they killed him, but this is how vindictive he is and how determined he is. So, yeah, I could be doing with like a name tag on the guy who's running the place now. I keep forgetting his name, but Locke. There you go. Because it gives you for all the characters in the helicopter or whatever it is. When it comes.
It does. Did we get it for the group with Deadshot? Because I don't remember most of those.
Not at the start. No, I don't think so. So it is what it is. But so they show up, and the rest of the team are supposed to meet up with them, and that's when they debate. What do we do with Deadshot? We get some of the powers of these other characters. The guy who can sort of like incur one of the 6 deadly sins, and Harley rightly points out, but there's 7. He's like, yeah, but making people feel lust would be icky. So I just
weaponize that.
I just do the 6. And the guy who can only do super speed for short bursts, and he has to nap, and they do some jokes with that, which is really fun.
His name's Jog, which I think is very good.
Yeah. So, some good stuff.
There's a great action page with using Jog. So the other guy comes out, uses sloth on all of them to make them just kind of stand there, and then you have like I don't know, what is it, like a 20-ish, 24 panel page.
20 panels. It's 5x4.
Okay, I didn't count. I was just kind of eyeballing of him kind of running through and taking all the guns, knocking them out, and then just being like, right, okay, I'm done now.
Yeah,
and just sitting down on the stairs. It's great.
Yeah, and Harley has this great moment actually where they don't trust her because they call her part of the establishment, and Harley's like, "What, me? Part of an establishment?"
Yeah, and then looks around. It's like, where'd they go? Oh man, they Batmaned out.
Yeah, and then Finn gets his revenge on Shark by telepathically bringing in all of the sharks in the area.
Yeah, he stabs him with his own tooth.
Yes,
and then summons the sharks. Go, hey, there's blood there. Go for it.
Yeah, and so Shark gets eaten alive. It was a great panel actually. It's sort of like a vertical panel, taking half of a page up, and it's just like the silhouette of all the sharks coming in, and the red circle of blood from the center. It's just a really nice.
Yeah, and the bits kind of just being churned out. Oh, it's real good.
Yeah. So, and again, Locke is yelling. He's getting so pissed off that nothing's going the way it's supposed to. And it's Finn who shows up and like telepathically like gets all the conversation with Deadshot going, and Deadshot gets kind of like honest about how he's not really sure if he wants to be alive anymore, and he's feeling all weird about being open. And I almost wonder if we're going to get a cool little story here about Deadshot kind of finding purpose again and caring about whatever these people are doing. It wouldn't shock me if they go that route.
Yeah,
wouldn't shock me.
And of course, as we get to the other president, we learn that Locke really needs to vet his team better. Don't send them on an assassination mission to kill their own mother. That's just not going to go well.
Yeah, obviously they've kept that secret, but like when they came in, like this really sets up a really interesting dynamic for this book, because the end of this issue, this is issue 3, so we sometimes we talk about how TV shows have like a 3-episode pilot almost sometimes, where it feels like they've really set up what the premise is, but then I feel at the end of this issue we get the premise like, no, they wanted to be taken by Task Force X, and it's not as smooth as they thought, because they were expecting Amanda Waller, which they thought they could handle, and this
Locke Amanda Waller's a professional, we can kind of work with that, and
Locke is a lot more kind of erratic, and like he's being controlled by something else. They revealed that it's not the government that are controlling Task Force X. Locke represents some villainous entity who also gets teased at the end because he electrocutes Locke the same way that Locke's been like electrocuting them. And
does he have a bomb in his neck?
He could do. But I think this setup, we're like, no, we're going to take down Task Force X, and whatever is like controlling Locke, whatever this bad guy is, this entity, this establishment is, like, this is like them, they've infiltrated Task Force X to take down this big bad, and I'm like, this is an insanely intriguing Suicide Squad story. This is so different from what I'm used to. Like,
it's so unique. Them intentionally subverting the missions to, you know, make things go their way, save the targets instead of killing them, you know, and work against the establishment like that, but from inside the system, is it's pretty unique.
Yeah, and so I've been enjoying the banter, I've been enjoying the characters and their interactions with each other and all that stuff, and the violence and all that, but this made me really excited about just the story. This made me excited about where it's going and what the ongoing plot is, and I'm like, yeah, Taylor's done it again.
Oh, I'm shocked, I tell you. Shocked. Never saw that coming.
Done it again. So, yeah, and they're all telepathically talking to each other on the plane or the helicopter back. And they've kind of bonded a little bit as a team.
How long till they have to loop Harley in? Because Deadshot does trust Harley. That's worth noting.
Yeah.
But those two are, you know, they call Harley the establishment here. And I think they're kind of like the parents of the Suicide Squad at this point, right?
Yep.
They're the grown-ups that take things seriously as much as Harley can, but they've survived this long for a reason. So it'd be kind of interesting to see if and when she gets looped in.
I would be delighted to see her reaction to find out that Deadshot's been in the loop for however long.
Been really annoyed that they didn't tell her, and her having to have the restraint to not say anything out loud.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be fun.
Yeah, so, no, Suicide Squad was great. And they are, again, I mean, there's not really much to add because it's just as consistently great as the last 2 issues, but Redondo, he fits this book to a T. It's such a clean style that I really think works with Taylor's writing. It really reminds me of the sort of artwork that Taylor had on some of his Marvel books, actually. So I'm really into it.
Once again, just to shout out Adriana Lucas for the colours, because they are spectacular on this book. That 20 panel page where it's going in and out of the silhouettes and all the different colors going on really makes it dynamic, and it makes each panel function individually rather than just being a mess of action. And
the big thing is the expressions as well. Like, you know, that whole page where they're talking to Deadshot for the first time telepathically, and he kind of opens up a little bit, and the way he kind of like catches himself doing that and feels, but like it captures the emotions in his face, and like he's trying to be stoic, but he lets something slip, and it's all there in the art. It's beautiful stuff. Let's see what Matt said. Tom Taylor is the best. R.I.P. Shark, but he had it coming. I feel like the revolutionaries aren't long for this world, but I'll keep enjoying them as long as I can. Taylor really gets the team book dynamic. Redondo's art looks great, especially in the action. I feel like we know who's pulling Locke's chain, but I can't figure it out. I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is someone we know from elsewhere in DC. Like, it could be.
Yeah, it's really traditional, like, shady spy organization with the blacked out face, someone just sat there in a suit on a screen.
And then he added, it really felt like Mockingbird from Gale's Secret Six. So, he gave it an 8.5. What are you giving it?
God damn it! Why am I lining up with Matt? It's 8.5.
I'm giving it the 9. Love it. Tom Taylor is a 9 out of 10 book rating machine. Right, that's what he is. He writes.
Yeah, I mean,
9s.
I gave him a 9 last week.
Yeah,
so.
He just writes 9s and up. Obviously, he gets some 10s occasionally as well.